2024 is here, which means new year, new you. No matter what your resolution may be, make sure you look good while doing it with our brand new line of Second Wind hats, hoodies, t-shirts, and more over at Shark Robot. Want to lose that belly fat? Wear your fully Ramblematic hoodie and laugh at an industry that never learns anything. Tee-hee-hee. Oh, my sides. Planning to eat healthier? Cook up a meal fit for Dabarella Eatster and an entire D&D group with your Adventure is Nigh Jumper. Want to read more books? Go to the theater in your backdrop t-shirt. Movies, they're just like books, but better. Want your voice to sound more like Frost's? Well, that's probably not gonna happen, but look over there. It's a cold take hat. Head over to sharkrobot.com/second-wind or click on the link in the description to check out all the new merch today. Act fast because some of it is only available for a limited time, just like our fragile lives. Floating on a rock in a void of nothingness. How peaceful.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Second Wind's Firelink podcast. This is episode number 5 for Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. My name is Marty Sliva, and as always, I'm joined by my co-hosts KC Nwosu and Nick Calandra, and of course, producer Eric. Welcome everyone. We did it. Another Wednesday.
We're back.
I can't believe it. 2 Wednesdays in a row.
It's
This economy. But it's a record for us.
2 Wednesdays into the new year. Oh my god!
Thank you. I don't want to talk about it.
That was our resolution.
I don't want to talk about it. Thank you guys so much for being here, and welcome to Firelink. We have a great show for you today. As you can see, our main topic, Jerry Seinfeld voice. What's the deal with exclusives? This is stemming from some rumors and reports that a couple of relatively high-profile Xbox games might be heading to PlayStation and Nintendo, and so we sort of wanted to just take a step back and chat about the concept of exclusives as a whole, what they meant to us growing up, what they meant to us in terms of console purchases, and what they mean to us now, if anything. And then, of course, we have a couple good newsies to talk about, some Sakurai news, some entertainment tidbits, and all sorts of stuff we've been playing. So how are you guys doing?
Too bad. It's snowy and cold. You know what that's like.
We're
gonna have our first like negative degrees this weekend.
Yeah, same here. Did you know that degrees to go below like zero is not? You're not done at zero.
Yeah,
We keep going that way. Wow.
It's so weird living in Kansas City because like there's like a gradual shift to winter, like even just north up in Nebraska. But in Kansas City, it's like fall, and then there's no jump to winter. It's just like one day, it's like, okay, we're gonna dump a foot of snow on you. Now it's cold in winter, and fuck off.
Weirdly enough, that's how the Northeast is.
We need more. That's just. I think that's global warming. If I'm
Just rubber band ass weather.
Because it wasn't like that
Till you
when I
get
was
your
a kid.
nor'easter.
Yeah, it wasn't like that when I was a kid. Now it's just like there used to be a star wipe between seasons, and now it's just like, well, you're here. Thank you. Welcome everyone in chat. Thank you so much, Denmark, joining the tip jar. Perfect thing to listen to on your shift. Denmark, we're only a few weeks away from Persona. I'm very excited. And
Only 4 days away from Persona.
That is true. We're only 4 days away from Persona's week. Ooh, that was good. On Sunday, we're going to be doing our all-day Persona stream part, ?
Duh.
Parts one of but yeah, thank you so much to Denmark, to anyone who's in the Green Gang who supports us over on YouTube, over on Patreon, means the world to us. If you saw Nick tweeted out, our so many of our videos get either demonetized, like the Master and Commander video, or ad limited, like pretty much any video Yahtzee is a part of.
Oh, sorry, Master and Commander didn't get demonetized. Master and Commander got blocked from existence.
He was like DMCA'd.
Yeah,
Got Devil May Cry'd?
And I disputed it, and Universal Studios was like, "No, we don't believe you. It's still blocked." I'm like, okay. They were pretty quick about it, though. I was surprised.
YouTube is not a viable platform, which is why we are so proud to have so many of you over on our Patreon, where you can watch that Master and Commander video, because fuck the police. I shouldn't have said that on the stream.
Yeah, stream just got demonetized.
Damn it! I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
your fault.
policemen. But thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon. You know, that $5 tier and above gets you so many great things. Darren Columns, Marty Columns. I wrote a little bit about Pokemon this week. The Pocket Monsters, they're back. That just should have been the title of it. Did you guys know Pocket Monsters are back? Yeah, so thank you everyone so much for the support there. And of course, our current funding goal, Adventures Nigh, Season 4, on location. We're close to like 6/10 the way through this. I'm getting very excited.
And yes, Eric has mentioned super chats are disabled right now, so we had to switch ad sets accounts from a personal to a business one. So if you want to donate today, it's going to have to go through PayPal again
The
for today.
fuck.
Ah.
Oh, and I demonetized us. Oh, this is a super demonetized episode. You know
Yeah.
what? Or just nestle in. Save those shekels, and
Or
when
go
it
to
comes back
Patreon.
up, throw it all. Throw it all. It'll be crazy.
Double
You got
dono
like
day.
Oh my god, Triple D, diners, drives, and dives. I didn't say that right, did I?
Yeah, I don't know what you said just now.
What's a diving? That's like a diving board. I got a couple news bits we want to talk about. We want to start with the entertainment world. The
Yes, go for
star-studded, the bright lights of Hollywood, CA. They're making a Mandalorian Grogu movie titled "The Mandalorian and Grogu."
Hold
Is that
on.
really
That's
the title?
Yeah, that's the actual
The title
title.
is "The Mandalorian and Grogu," which is a little play on obviously Lone Wolf and Cub. But
How?
because it is Thing and Thing.
They really want you to know what that movie's about.
Also, just say the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda because no one cares.
Yeah, no one knows what a
I refuse to
Grogu
call him.
is.
No one knows what a Grogu.
Grogu sounds like when you throw up. That's the sound you make.
What he looks like. He's a little gremlin. He looks like a little throw up. John
Grogu.
Favreau directing this movie. John Favreau, obviously a huge
Already
Hollywood
not
director with
interested.
Iron Man, Elf, The Jungle Book, Aladdin. He's made some big movies. This is filming later this year. I imagine will come out next year? ? Disney's getting back into the movie game with Star Wars with the Daisy Ridley sequel film, with something James Mangold may or may not be working on, something that Dave Filoni may or may not be working on. What's our temperature with Star Wars? Are we going to the theaters to see this fucking little baby on a big screen?
I am only excited for Ahsoka season 2 and whatever the accolade is. Maybe Skeleton Crew. A Rey sequel movie. I'm not excited for at all. I have zero issue with her character. I just like it's more Skywalker again because she is a Skywalker.
Yeah,
now.
they did make her Skywalker. What if that new movie erases all of that?
She goes back to that place in the desert.
She goes back to get the Emperor's course and just plays her hand with a puppet with like a.
They want to do something cool. Fucking destroy Tatooine.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a Death Star again, but bring out a Death Star to destroy that place so that we don't go back.
That'd be wild, actually.
Yeah. If
Uh,
they destroy
yeah,
Tatooine,
like-
it would mean something. Yeah.
Like I was pretty all in on the first Mandalorian season. Well, I'm sorry, the first couple Mandalorian seasons.
Yeah.
But like by the end of the second one, yeah, I think I got kind of worn out. And yeah, I kind of took a break from Star Wars in general until recently. Like we'll probably talk more about what we've been watching, but like I finished Ahsoka and like I got re-hyped about Star Wars
Okay.
stuff.
So you liked Ahsoka?
I very much liked Ahsoka,
I
like much
love
more than I thought I
Ahsoka.
would.
Let's just talk about Ahsoka now. We don't need to talk
Okay,
about-
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Ahsoka is the best Jedi to Jedi,
Okay.
and that continues to be true in the series. But I'm still upset. Like, there's a lot. Like, Ahsoka's not actually the main character of that series. Like, Sabine Wren is,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and that's just odd to me. Like, I thought it was great, but like, why'd you call it Ahsoka? Like, it's
Yeah.
not even a household name for like Star Wars fans, is it?
No, maybe
So,
for
like, it
kids.
just makes
Like,
no
I think
sense to
maybe
me.
kids like who like really went hard on the Clone Wars and like the cartoon. Like maybe Ahsoka's a more of a household name to them than the old heads.
I guess.
Mm.
But I don't know. Did any former
They
kids
know her name
line up for
now.
Ahsoka?
I don't know. I'm
Yeah, what were the numbers on that? Like, was that like, I know it's getting a second season, but like, was that like a big hit for them? Like, did it do big numbers?
I mean,
I don't
it just
think
doesn't
did they
feel
release
like it
numbers
had a
on it?
big footprint, right? Like,
Right,
it didn't
yeah.
feel like the same. It doesn't feel like any Star Wars people have been talking about it with the same fervor since Mando season 2, since Luke popped up, and after that, everyone's like, I don't know. It doesn't feel. Or Andor. I mean, Andor, like everyone who knows, and Andor's good.
I'd pay attention like just to stay up with the conversation. Like the subreddit for Star Wars was all over Ahsoka. They loved it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. Andor was it like there was a much more like split between people that really loved it and people that really didn't love it. And then like, you know, they fanboy over like the moments from
Mhm.
stuff like Obi-Wan and Mandalorian, but I think like they're pretty mild on those shows. in general, like Star Wars lore kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think Ahsoka, like especially like the last scene of that show, got people really excited because you might be surprised at like how many people are actually like really, really deep into the lore of Rebels and all that stuff. Like the hardcore of the hardcore fan base absolutely adored Ahsoka for the lore stuff. Whether the show was good or not, like some of them were iffy on that, but a lot of them, I think just get sucked so deep into the world of Star Wars, they're willing to forgive some of like the showiness misgivings or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, outside of all the actual show stuff, I fell very much in love with the soundtrack of Ahsoka.
It was good,
super good.
Like that end theme, like I keep playing it. Like I've not stopped listening to it. Like as I'm like just writing stuff over the course of the week and stuff since it's finished, and like I've been listening to both volumes of that show soundtrack ever since. And there's a lot of freaking music in that show. I didn't realize how much music. It's like there's over like 100 something tracks I think across both of them. It's kind of wild. Yeah, I've not even finished it yet.
Yeah.
But just listen to the Ahsoka end credits at the very least. Like if you haven't already, just go put that on in the background and like escape your body. Like let your soul freaking just rise.
Disassociate. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a relatively quiet year for Star Wars. We might get Skeleton Crew, we might get The Acolyte. Neither of those have been dated yet. And like a Mando season 4 hasn't been greenlit or anything. God help us, a Book of Boba Fett season 2 hasn't been greenlit.
That's never happening.
Season 2. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good that the faucet slowed down a little bit for Star Wars, and hopefully they, like Marvel, are hopefully rethinking quality over quantity and sort of actually putting all their creative juices into a smaller number of things, as opposed to trying to just have a show that is constantly airing 24/7, 365. But yeah, we'll see more Star Wars as it comes out. I don't know what the next like Star Wars thing we're gonna get. Maybe Jedi Fallen Order DLC or Jedi Survivor DLC, but we didn't get Fallen Order DLC. Maybe we get a new Star Wars game. There haven't been a lot. There's a ton of Marvel games in development we know about. Not a lot of Star Wars. Oh, Outlaws.
No, yeah, Outlaws is on the way.
Sorry, yeah. That's actually going to be the big Star Wars of the year.
Yeah.
Well, that got pushed back to the end of the year.
Is that right?
Got pushed back to year. It just got pushed back to year. It's just this year. We don't know. Could be tomorrow. Could be November. Who knows? There's no way to know. Outlaws looks cool. So there you go. We'll have something else Star Wars to talk about later on in the year.
I feel like we'll see Skeleton Crew before anything else.
Skellies. You know who I like? Jude Law. So bring him on. Bring that man here. He's handsome.
Yeah, you mentioned like Disney slowing down on Marvel and Star Wars stuff, and like Echo that I watched that first episode last night. I'm like, what is happening? It's literally just a montage of nothing.
Yeah,
Hawkeye,
I just don't. Was bad.
Yeah, Hawkeye was a really bad show.
The trailer, I was really interested in Echo because I'm like, oh, they're doing something different finally. They're saying all the right things. It's gonna be standalone, and it's like the first episode is entirely like, oh, by the way, it's all about Hawkeye. Well, not the show isn't all about Hawkeye, but hey, remember all this Hawkeye stuff that happened in this series that happened 2 years ago that nobody remembers because nothing happened in that show either.
If you have to constantly remind us thing, maybe a shared universe is a mistake. Maybe we shouldn't do it.
For somehow it's taken them how many years to like finally figure they still haven't figured it out that it doesn't work. They're gonna keep losing money on all these movies now. The superhero era is dried up. I think it's finally dried up.
I don't think it's the superheroes though, because like every now and then one of them will come out and be like, oh, that one was a good one, but it's like they're maybe running out of ideas to like to make the superheroes pop.
Despite the Spider-Verse one thing.
Madam Web's coming soon.
I feel that's gonna be trash.
Did you see that her costume leaked on a Japanese ocean spray bottle?
Yeah, I have zero I have zero faith in Sony Pictures to develop anything good that's a Venom trash.
They've got to be doing it on purpose, right? At this point.
Craven looks Mobius was bad. Craven doesn't look great.
Morbius. His name was Morbius.
Mobius is a different
you can't
guy.
discount that R.
No more Mobius.
Mo problems. It's bad. They'll be fine. Or they'll just do something new. It'll be video game adaptations that we have to talk about for the next 10 years, and then those will be dumb, and they'll just bring back westerns or something. I don't know. It'll be fine.
Taylor
Those would be
Sheridan has
good.
all the westerns under his belt.
That's true. That's true.
Paramount Plus has every western you could possibly ask for right now. It's great.
Yeah,
and
he
they're all
just-
and
he
they're
just
all
ranches
actually
a bunch of
good.
cocaine and writes them all himself. What,
Yeah.
what
I'm
an impressive man.
watching Yellowstone right now, and he just released that new western based on, I tweeted about it
Lawman
last night.
Bass Reeves.
Lawman Bass Reeves, and it looks really good.
I think I
That's
saw
right.
some trailers for that.
Featured
Yeah.
in HBO's The Watchmen. What a show! Do you guys want to talk about a show that was good and that we're getting a new season of?
Last of Us.
It was The Last of Us. You did seem like you didn't want to talk about it at all. You didn't like my transition at all. The Last of Us season 2 is going into production this year. Will not probably release until next year. However, we know who our Abby will be, and it's going to be Caitlin Dever, who is an incredible actor. We talked about No One Will Save You last year. That's it was the sci-fi alien invasion movie on Hulu that I really enjoyed. She was in a couple seasons of Justified, one of the leads in Booksmart and Short Term 12. Great actor. Funny enough, she auditioned apparently for Ellie, but she was a little too old because she's like in her late 20s. So she is more like built like an Ellie as of this moment than an Abby, which if you've played The Last of Us Part 2, Abby is a much more intimidating figure. I don't know, you can get in shape, do some push-ups and stuff. I don't know. Or don't have to be that in shape. Doesn't matter. You do whatever you want.
Or maybe they did that so people wouldn't attack her.
People are still going to attack her. So spoilers.
Yeah,
People are still going to be terrible to her.
This is still America and the internet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is still America and the internet. The worst too. Yeah.
How were both you guys' take on The Last of Us 2's game story? Do you think that'll adapt as readily as the first season?
I think it's
As the
gonna be
first
better
game,
as a
rather?
TV show than it was a
Way
game
harder.
story.
It'll be way harder to adapt it in my mind.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be more linear than what they did for the game.
Yeah, you'll have to do a lot. You'll have to do a lot more bouncing around, which is fine because that's how TV works. You can just cut to different characters and show what they're doing. However, a lot of the powerful reveals hinged on you experiencing something from one character's point of view and then experiencing it from another character's point of view. So I don't know. They've been Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin have been very open about the fact that it's probably not just going to be one season. The game is like twice as long as the first game.
Sure.
So this is probably going to be a 2-seasoner. So I'm curious where they kind of where they bill and Frank it up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Coloring outside the
seems like
lines
they-
and being able to, yeah.
Yeah,
Do you guys
well,
ever
it
see
seems
that
like
Frank It Up commercial?
Frank
How often
It
do you
Up.
guys watch TV? There's a Frank's
No.
Red Hot
I
commercial.
don't watch commercials.
And the whole thing, I only was watching it when I was watching the X-Files. In that channel I was watching the X-Files on, which I watched the X-Files on this like weird, like, it was like Fox 0.5 or something. It was like 47.5. And so they just had the worst commercials. It was like mesothelioma or Frank It Up. And it was a Frank's Red Hot Sauce commercial where everyone just kept saying, you gotta Frank it up. And there's like a dude franking up his hot dog. And like an old couple is like, you gotta Frank it up. And some
Yeah, that's a downgrade. I remember when Frank's Red Hot had an old lady saying, "I put that shit on everything."
Get that lady back. Frank's Red Hot.
Yes, I love those.
I haven't watched like TV advertisements in years, and I have like the ad version of Peacock to watch Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And ads have gotten real bad over the years.
Ads have gotten bad. Yeah, I only watch.
They know
I only
nobody's
see ads
watching.
during football games, and I see ads during my X-Files.
There's
which I'm not
this one for like this woman's perfume that has to be AI generated because it's just too weird that like there's nobody would have acted, like the people don't look right, like their movements don't look right. It's just fucking weird, and I'm like, this had AI made this 100%.
Have you like watched perfume ads or paid attention to them at any regular clip? Because they've always been like weird and out there. Like perfume ads are
like they're
the
like
most
little art films where like, this is
yeah,
weird,
they're
so-
so
This-
nonsensical.
This one doesn't even like an art film. It's like it's like all on a white background and these people just dancing around a carousel, and it makes zero sense. I have no idea what's happening.
I love it.
There's one where Adam Driver races a horse on a beach shirtless.
He is on the horse or he's running.
No, he
against
is
the horse?
racing the horse. Like
9 times
and-
out of 10, that horse wins. 9 times out of 10.
he's keeping up. We might have a new Tom Cruise in our hands the way that man was running.
Horse-like. He is horse-like. Like if you would have told me he's the second to last picture on an anamorph of a horse, I'd believe you.
The next Hercules movie needs to make him a minotaur.
He's got like a big.
Not a minotaur. What's the one with the horse?
Kind of a centaur. It could be any of those.
Centaur.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we think Caitlin Deaver's gonna be happy.
Yeah, I have no like. I've not seen any of the stuff she's in. Like, it's my first time hearing her name, and I've not played The Last of Us 2 yet, so I really don't have any.
Watch
anything
everyone's
going into this.
homework. I'm not legally allowed to give anyone listening homework. Watch No One Will Save You on Hulu. It is a little alien invasion movie. It is like 90 minutes. It is pretty much a wonder. She's like she's on every frame of the movie. And she's great. I think she's gonna be great.
I'll take your word for it.
I feel like casting for The Last of Us Season 1 was pretty much perfect, so I'm not worried about it.
It was really good. So I think it's gonna be good. So
did you guys see that little video of Neil Druckmann at the Golden Globes?
Was that out of context?
I don't know. But it seemed really really strange. I don't know when he started getting all this hate, but there's a hate mob for Neil Druckmann on the internet.
Yeah. No, that's a rabbit hole we don't have to go down. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole. And Jewel Rao, you cannot send a super chat right now. We had to change some things in the back end with AdSense. It doesn't matter. That should be fixed soon.
Yeah, the next day or so.
Jewel. So just put those in a low stress savings account, and then withdraw them in a day or two, and see if we've gotten any extras on it.
See much interest you gain in a day.
Yeah, put that interest in there.
You keep the interest and then give us what the money you were going to give us. So every win-win.
No, we want the interest too. What are you doing?
That is absolutely win-win. No. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Speaking of back scratching, Sakurai's leaving his YouTube channel in 2024. That wasn't speaking of backtrack. It's back scratching, but
yeah, is he scratching our back by giving us more traffic by him leaving?
Yeah, there you go. So
his channel was really good.
His channel was really good. Sakurai, the director of Kid Icarus Uprising. And also, I guess, the Smash Bros. Games.
All the Kirby's.
All the Kirby's. Yeah, the creator of Kirby. I think it's his little pink baby.
His baby.
So he started a YouTube channel a few years ago, and it was a game development YouTube channel that was actually like really cool because hearing game development sort of quick tips and lectures and like breakdowns from someone who's made some of the literal biggest games of all time, one of the 20 best-selling games of all time, is fascinating. His channel's excellent, and he's closing up shop this year. Casey, why do you think that is?
There have been rumors swirling around for a while. Sakurai himself was caught slipping, saying stuff like, "Oh, he can't imagine Nintendo making another Smash Bros. Without his involvement, and how he's definitely not done developing games yet," and like just hinting here and there that he's kind of not retired, which, you start a YouTube channel, that does kind of seem like what you do after you finish your first job.
Yeah.
But with him closing up shop, with a potential Nintendo Switch 2 around the corner, all signs kind of point to him getting back to work on whatever the next Smash is going to be, whether it's like a update of Ultimate or an entirely new game. We don't know, but I would put some serious money down on Sakurai getting back in the saddle.
Yeah, it's been over 5 years since the release of Smash Ultimate. It is, as of this moment, the third best-selling Switch game of all time, behind Animal Crossing and Mario Kart 8. It is one of the 20 best-selling games of all time. We'll get into exclusives later. It has outsold think of any PlayStation exclusive. It's outsold them all. So, like, when you think of how big this game is, it's bigger than The Last of Us. It's bigger than Uncharted. It's bigger than Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man the man, but like Spider-Man the game. It is
like Illumination pitched Nintendo on a Smash Bros. Movie. Like, they're trying to get that done.
Do you think Ryan Reynolds' Pikachu is going to be in it?
Yeah, I hope so.
Do you think,
that wouldn't be bad. That would not be bad.
Ben Schwartz's Sonic? That could be bad. Who says no? Oscar Isaac's Snake? Who says no?
Konami.
Think about it.
Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong? Are we saying no now? Are we getting those no's ready?
Who says no? Raul Julia's M. Bison? Who says no? But yeah, I agree with you, Casey. I think I think he's getting back in the saddle, and I'm sure with the new console launching, they're like, We need to
Did
do.
you?
Let's do another. Let's roll it back. You want a championship? Just bring the team back. And so just fucking do it again. And yeah, like the problem is Ultimate does feel like a you've said your piece. You
Like
know,
it's
like
called Ultimate. Like it's
everyone is
supposed to be
here.
the end.
Like everyone is literally here. So
Like you can
yeah,
really
I
only
don't know
go
what to
two
do.
routes. Like either
They
like
need to
super
make
back to
a
basics or just V2 Championship
Yeah.
Edition
they need to
Turbo.
make a Super Smash Bros. In the style of Gang Beasts.
No one needs to do that.
No
Yes.
That's
They
a
need-
so
bad
it'll be
idea.
fun for an hour.
It's more fun than hours. It's fun for at least 2 hours.
I feel like by the back 30 minutes of a game night, I'm like, we need a game that does stuff.
It's just
This is
because you
coming
get
from a guy
tired of being drowned.
Yeah, I don't want to be drowned.
I mean,
Being
anyone
drowned is
would.
terrible. Yeah, see,
Only okay if
Perfectly
Marty
reasonable.
drowns people.
Perfectly reasonable. Yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see. This is all sort of part of the larger conversation of like, what's the deal with Nintendo, and like, we're so the last news bit to talk about is it seems like all the first parties are going to be holding events in the coming days, weeks, month or so. We know Xbox has a developer direct next Thursday, the 18th, which is actually really exciting because so this is the same event that they held last year around the same time where we got the shadow drop for Hi-Fi Rush, which was amazing because the game was into existence and came out and it was great. This direct, they've said they're going to show Avowed, the new sort of big fantasy game from Obsidian. They're going to show Hellblade 2 and probably get a release date, I would guess. The big surprise
Finally.
was they're going to show Indiana Jones. Machine Games is the Wolfenstein developers, Indiana Jones, and some scuttlebutt was saying that this game is earlier than we think and that this is a 2024 game, which I don't think a lot of us thought that because all we've seen from it was a whip. And I thought, like, you got to make more than a whip to make this game, right?
I mean, it was announced forever ago, so I'm like, maybe they've just
Yeah.
been hard at work and got
It was
carte
like a
blanche in terms
very
of when they
early
could show
column
it
I
off.
wrote at The Escapist. Yeah. Like, Nick, what's your temperature on this? You excited for this event?
Yeah. I really want to see Hellblade release date. Like I said last week, I'm really curious about that game now. There's that rumor of that shadow drop game from Double Fine, which seems more likely now, just considering that rumor popped up a week ago. So it seems like something's out there in the wild.
Yeah, and the way the last year's thing was, they said these are the 4 games we're going to talk about, and Hi-Fi Rush was the secret shadow drop. So they've announced
Yeah.
the 4 games they're going to talk about, and maybe there's a secret shadow drop.
Yep. But I am really surprised we're seeing Indiana Jones. I don't know if I have no idea what that game is gonna be. I can assume it's gonna be. I mean, I'm really curious if they go like the third-person action route, and this is like Xbox's surprise take on a Naughty Dog type game with Indiana Jones. That seems obviously the perfect fit
Right.
for a direct competitor to something like Uncharted, whatever that looks like. Maybe it's first person. I can't really picture an Indiana Jones in first person with the amount of traversal movement and stuff.
I'm only allowing it to be first person if the entire top third of the screen is your hat's brim. Otherwise, I don't want to play it.
And then Avowed. I think the one thing that I've liked from Xbox is like when they get a lot of feedback in the show about like how a game looks or anything like that, they do seem to like take that to heart and go back and polish. And so I'm like, Avowed did get kind of roasted for its visuals when it was first revealed. So I'm curious to see like if they've stepped it up quite a bit from there, what that's going to look like. If they put more budget behind it, whatever Avowed ends up being. But I am actually like, temperature check on Avowed is a bit iffy just because I'm not huge on Obsidian's like gameplay. I really love their writing and story, but I don't feel like their gameplay's ever been super great. Grounded actually does feel quite good to play, surprisingly, if you haven't played that yet, at least from a melee combat perspective. And that seems like Grounded was a way for them to really work on that part of their studio.
And to clarify, since I think Avowed was 2 years ago, maybe when they showed it off, that is Obsidian, so the developer behind the Outer Worlds. Jesus Christ, how am I still doing this in 2024? It is their. I think is going to be what the Outer Worlds is to Fallout. this game is going to be to Skyrim. So don't think of it as a massive sprawling Bethesda game, but it's going to be more of sort of a smaller focused RPG like The Outer Worlds is, which had a lot of fans. So people enjoy. I don't think Outer Worlds wasn't loved, but I think it was universally liked.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say.
Yeah, and then Hellblade obviously has been a big one that we're either sold on or anxious to be sold on.
Yeah, I want that game to be good. They
Yeah.
have not convinced me of what it is just yet.
Yeah.
I mean, to Ninja Theory's credit, aside from their multiplayer game, you've pretty much liked every game they've put out. So
I even like the multiplayer one.
Bleeding Edge.
Bleeding Edge was a
That
good game. It just
Bleeding
didn't have
Edge.
legs.
Yeah. That's because they got
That
cut
was-
off by swords. Was that what that game was about?
Probably, yeah.
Smack you with guitars.
Yeah. What? Really? I didn't play
Yeah,
Bleeding Edge. So
There was a
you
guy
can
with
tell
a
me anything
guitar.
about
Yeah,
Bleeding
there was like a death metal-y guy.
You could tell me anything about that game and I'd believe you.
Mm.
I do not
There was a
know
guy
anything.
named Martin Sliva, and
I need to call someone. I need to call someone. But alongside this, which this is going to be next Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, we're going to be doing a live watch along to it, so tune in then. But then there's some scuttlebutt too that there might be a Sony State of Play coming up, which makes sense because outside of like a lot of third-party partnerships, we don't know what's going on with Sony other than things that criminals have told us. We know they have obviously like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming, but that is again a partnership game. So I think it would probably be good of them because there's just been some bad news recently of like we got hacked and we're canceling this Last of Us game and our president that no one likes is leaving and get some big W's in there. At CES they showed off some footage of the Gravity Rush movie that apparently exists. The footage looked very bad, but I was like, well, Gravity Rush exists. That's nice. They remember that existed. They showed some Patapon something. That was nice. I don't know what it is, but Patapon's back. Those little freaks are coming back. And then alongside that, getting to where my transition was earlier, that didn't actually work. Nintendo has held an annual big direct in February every year for the last several years, and so it is assumed Nintendo will be having another one of those in the coming weeks in February. And this seems like the one with the console.
Don't you say it? All right, you ruined it. They're not announcing it. Just because you said it, they're not going to do it now.
It's fine if they just
gotta
show me more
announce
of
it at some point,
Princess
right?
Peach, Princess Peach's sneakies, and fucking Luigi goes back to the ghost house. I'm fine if it's just a bunch of that.
Like, yeah, they can't go. Like, what are they telling us about if it's not a new console? Because the games that they already announced are very like bottom of the barrel. Like this time next year, no one's gonna be thinking about anything on this list of releases.
They are definitely games that have been finished for like 2 years, and they've been like, "Listen, save these for a rainy day." And they're like, "Oh shit! Like Zelda came out, the new Mario game came out. It's raining. We gotta give you some games." This will be it. Super Nintendo Switch launching with Super Smash Brothers Super Ultimate. Super. Double.
Just throw more supers in it.
I'll just take a Pokemon Violet that has a good frame rate and not pop in the next 5 feet in front of me.
Those game
Set your
freaks
bar way too low.
Those game freaks, they just need to make a Pokemon concierge game. That's what they need to do. They need to make a game where I'm just working at that resort and trying to fix people's problems. Let me be a Pokemon therapist.
Pokemon White Lotus.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Just the worst white people coming to the Pokemon resort. That would be great. So yeah, let's get to our main topic. It feels like the fact that all three of those developers, first party publishers, are going to have probably events soon leads well into our topic of exclusives. This sort of stemmed from a report that has come out that has not been verified, and I don't know if this would be at an Xbox thing or if this would be at a Sony or a Nintendo thing. This seems like something that might be during a direct, but a report says that some beloved first-party Xbox games, that was me trying to put the parentheses around the S because I don't know if that exists, will be becoming third-party, coming to PlayStation and Switch. And immediately a lot of people's first thought was Hi-Fi Rush, which seems like the kind of game that would fit on Switch and with like a more Japanese leaning audience of the PS5. and isn't like a giant, like it's not Starfield kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then some other reports said Sea of Thieves, which I think makes perfect sense. Nick, you had a thread about this because it is a live service game, and because live service games make sense to have the largest number of players humanly possible, which is why multiplayer COD will probably never become exclusive to Xbox, because that would be very foolish of them.
Yeah.
But the
Cutting
news
off
of
your own
that,
foot.
yeah, exactly. But the news of that got folks, some folks who are very online. Some of them were very mad at the idea that how could you do this to me, Judas Iscariot? You took my Hi-Fi Rush and my Sea of Thieves, and you're giving them to the enemy. How could you? And this just reminded me that like the console wars exist in 2024. And it seems really weird to me, but I kind of want to talk about what you guys think about exclusives in general. And let's start at the beginning. Did you guys ever really care about exclusives as kids?
I
Absolutely.
mean,
Yes.
I
Yeah, as a kid, yeah.
well, in the sense that like for me to play with my friends, I had to get an Xbox to play Halo, right?
Mhm.
Like that's I just went where the games were. Like I kept my Xbox and I bought a ton of games for it. And then when my friends all moved to PlayStation, I'm like, okay, I'm selling my Xbox and all the games, and I'm moving to PlayStation. Like I've never had a loyalty to a platform. I just go where the games are that I want to play. And so it- it- I'm never excited about like an Uncharted because it's exclusive. I'm excited because it looks good. It's Uncharted, and I want to play that. Right? It's like, and I know like not everybody has. Well, even as a kid, I didn't have the luxury of owning all the consoles at once. I didn't get that until I was an adult and started covering games and getting paid to do it. So, like,
Mhm.
if I wanted PlayStation, I had to sell my entire Xbox and all the games to go get the PlayStation. That was the option I had.
Yeah, and that's the real fuel behind like console war energy. And I think that holds true to this day, that it really is like a matter of finances. Like folks make a decision, or someone makes the decision for them, like a parent, a guardian, whatnot, and they need to justify that purchase. So like the thing I have was the right choice, and the thing you bought is the wrong choice. It's like religion, really. Like my heaven is real. You're all
The
going
fact
to
you
hell.
compare video game consoles to religion is so
No,
dumb.
I'm just trying to get you into the
I
mindset.
know, I
'Cause, yeah,
know.
when I was
I'm in the
Arguing
mindset. I know
about
that.
them is about the same. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, like I fell in love with video games hard, but like the my exposure to them was through the lens of Nintendo. So like I was playing Mario, I was playing like those Disney games like Aladdin and whatnot. I was playing Mega Man, and like they're not all Nintendo games, but I associate all of that with just Nintendo.
Mhm.
So when I would go to a friend's house or a cousin's house and they had like Vector Man or Sonic the Hedgehog, which I notoriously hated from a very young age, I was like, "This is trash. You need to get up on this wave over here with me." So like I felt very passionately about the difference between those two consoles, but like I was ignorant. I don't know the breadth of like Sega's history there. There was definitely like gems back on the Genesis and the Saturn and blah blah blah, but I didn't learn that till much later. And some folks just never learn that. So like they continue to just fight for their side because that's all they know.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I can safely say I never cared about the hardware or the companies themselves. I was never like, man, you know what? Sony, yeah, you really got it going on. Nintendo, no, you're slacking. Like those kinds of things. I never evangelized the human,
The
like
only
the rich people at the the six-figure C-suite folks who
company I ever fanboyed over was On Live.
that was
Just the
on live. That
best.
was different.
On
Yeah,
live?
flew too close to the sun. Sweet little Icarus.
That is
But
strange.
I
I'm
do
kidding.
remember as a Nintendo kid growing up and having a Super Nintendo and an N64 and being like, "This is the best. This is great." And then all of a sudden, the PlayStation came out, and I was like, "Well, I got an N64. That's fine. I've Banjo Kazooie. It's fine." And then I saw Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil and Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I was like, "What's going
Yeah,
on over there?"
the PS2 era was a blow
What do,
to the psyche for like
what do
a
y'all
Nintendo kid.
what do y'all got going on over there? And then I got that, and I was like, "Ooh, this is good." Like I still like Nintendo. Nintendo's still fine, but
Sure,
like, "Ooh,
yeah.
what's going on over here?"
That's the moment where you learn. Like once you branch off of the old console into the new one, you realize like there's good on both sides, right? Like if you're ever
Yeah,
stuck in that
yeah.
mindset.
And
But
there's
like, I will
never
still
been a
say
bad console. There's never been well, there has. There's like the Jaguar and the
the
Lynx and shit
The
Ouya.
like
Wii
that,
U.
but like the Ouya. But like, no, even the Wii had Galaxy
U.
1 and 2.
The
Even
Wii
the
was a
Wii
great
U,
concept.
the
That's
Wii
a
U had
bad
3D
console.
World. Like even the worst
Mm.
console had a couple bangers.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And then yeah, it was the same way. I bought an original Xbox a few years into it when Knights of the Old Republic came out. Halo didn't do it for me. I wasn't like, I don't have to be here day one for Halo. And
Mhm.
I saw Knights of the Old Republic, and I was like, ooh, I gotta see what those guys are going on. Like,
You know
what's
what
going on here?
sold me on the original Xbox? Freaking Advent Rising.
Mm.
That game was pitched as like this epic trilogy, and the first game was like this amazing, and like I loved it. I was all in for Advent Rising, and then that whole studio shuttered, and we just never got any more.
Are you
I-
back? Yeah, coming back to the next one.
I think the
I
only
would.
time
I love that game.
I think the only time I ever I'm not even gonna call it fanboyed over a console, but like very much preferred one over the other was the 360 UI versus the PS3 UI because the PS3 UI was
Oh,
hot
yeah.
garbage.
Yeah,
Those are
PS3 was very frustrating.
totally liking a UI. Also, really
Yeah.
quick, Tommy Tallarico did the score for Advent Rising. So H Bomber guy coming for you now.
Uh-oh.
Watch out. Or did he do the score for it? I guess.
We'll never know. He's
I
on the
do
run.
agree. There's UIs I prefer. I vastly prefer the current Xbox UI to the PS5 UI. Can Xbox be better? Yes, because I still think just everything's ugly compared to Blades. I just want Blades to get back. But yeah, like I use my Xbox for third party games. I use it for media. Like I go on YouTube on my Xbox and I stream movies on my Xbox and stuff. And then I turn my PlayStation on when I want to play the PlayStation exclusive games like Final Fantasy VII that I can't play, and Spider-Man and God of War that I can't play on Xbox.
True. Like I will
Um,
say, I like even today, I do appreciate a version of console wars. Like not the one where like fanboys are arguing back and forth about what's better, but just the idea that the companies are trying to one up each other. Like I like that spirit of competition within the gaming industry. Like that stuff is very entertaining to me as like a fan of games and the companies and how they're made and whatnot. So like when I hear console wars, that's usually what I'm talking about, the companies and not the people who are paying the companies, if that makes any sense.
yeah, no, that checks out.
So well, at least with this whole thing stems from people being mad that Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves might be going multi-platform, and it's just I don't I tweeted about it right before the show. I think the era of forever exclusives is mostly dead, aside from single party or I mean a single
Nintendo?
player. Well, single player like first party major exclusive system seller exclusives I think is about it anymore. I think like stuff like Indiana Jones is going to be stuck on Xbox. I think obviously Starfield's not going anywhere else between PC and Xbox, but I also think like I just don't think Xbox cares about that kind of exclusivity in terms of like keeping
It
their
hasn't
game
helped them.
locked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just hasn't helped them keep their like all they care about is getting as many Game Pass subscribers as they want. Like Xbox is just a mechanism to deliver Game Pass these days because you play it on your phone, you can play it on the cloud, you can play it on the PC, you can play it on the Xbox. Hell, you can browser play it on your PlayStation if you really want to. Like I mean, there's so many different ways, handheld, you can some of these Windows machines now you can play Game Pass on handheld devices. So
In
I
a
just
way, like in a way, Xbox releasing some of their exclusives on other platforms that are refusing to, add access to Game Pass is kind of an advertisement for it. Because it's like, hey, you could pay $60 for this Xbox exclusive, this one Xbox exclusive over on the Switch or the PlayStation, or you could just sign up for $1 or $5 a month to play it on an Xbox platform. And like they kind of win either way.
And Chris S. and Chaz is losing Xbox on the console wars would be a disaster for the consumer. That's the thing. I don't think I think you're thinking about it wrong at this point. We've talked about this before. Excuse me, back on Breakout, where these are ecosystems now. They're not console wars anymore. It's ecosystem. You're either in it's like Apple or Android. You're either in the Xbox ecosystem, you're in the PlayStation ecosystem, or you're in the Nintendo ecosystem. Nintendo is so far on behind Sony and PlayStation and getting their games anywhere else because the Switch sells hundreds of millions of units. Like there's no could they bring their stuff to PC? I guess, but they really want people on their Switch. So
Yeah, I
Sony,
mean, for Nintendo right now, the question would be why.
yeah,
Like,
well,
yeah. But even
it-
they've dabbled in mobile, and that
Yeah.
that counts as another platform for them.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, Splatoon should be multi-platform. I think every multiplayer game should be multi-platform. It just makes sense these days, especially with Sony them being free to play. The only way these games stay afloat is a huge player base sending you in microtransactions constantly. So why the hell wouldn't Sea of Thieves go to Switch and to PlayStation and to PC and to Xbox and to mobile phone? It has.
Do you think
like
my dog will transfer over to Switch? Oh my
I
god,
think it
will my
will,
dog
yeah.
be on Switch?
But like even Sony, I was saying on Twitter, what's the game coming out soon from them? Helldivers 2. I don't see that doing super well on PlayStation. I just don't. I don't think it's gonna sell more than 2 million copies, if that. I don't even think it's gonna sell 1.5 million copies, to be honest with you. Like, and we talked last week where I think at the last minute, depending on how pre-orders are for that game, they're gonna add it to PS Plus as a launch title last minute. I think, and I do think like that is a game that should go to Game Pass. And it's not like, I think a lot of people forget like MLB The Show went to Game Pass, so Sony has released PlayStation exclusive games on Game Pass already.
But
there's already been
that one
crossover.
didn't feel like a Sony decision though. Like that one was kind of like an MLB mandate.
Big Baseball made the decision.
Yeah, they was like, hey, if you want us to keep giving you this license, put this on more platforms so we can make more
Yeah,
money.
so
or whatever.
showed up at.
It's possible, but like, what do you do with a game like Helldivers where it's probably a games as a service game, and if it doesn't do well, what do you do with that studio at that point? Do you transition them to single player games that they haven't made before, or do you give the game out to more people to keep it alive?
No, it's a really good question. Like this is kind of because Sony has notoriously, since they've become the dominant market leader, been the most resistant to any sort of cooperation in this fashion. And like with them announcing 11 or so live service games and kind of coming to the fast realization that that might have been a bad idea, they're either going to have to be like, all right, well, scrap all of this or send it out, or scrap all this and send it out to die, or basically give up, like forget
Yeah,
that
I mean,
mandate. And then, like you said, go over to the dark side and send their stuff to Game Pass.
Yeah, fair games and Contour. Yeah, there's no reason for those to be limited to a Sony platform. If you can get the microtransactions and get them out to the wider audience, then yeah, I guess
Called,
Sony gets more money from that.
Fair game money sign, actually, was how they called it.
Fair game money sign.
Yeah, fair game. Yeah, watch _ dogs.
But yeah, I mean, like, see if these makes perfect sense to go multi-platform. There's no reason not to, and I don't even know, like, with Disney behind like these Star Wars games and the Marvel games and the Indiana Jones, like, if I recall, like the publishers are having to pay Disney a shit ton of money to get that license for that exclusivity.
Yeah.
So like, if you have to pay $100 million just to get the exclusivity for Star Wars Outlaws, you better be releasing that on multi-platform. Or Wolverine, Sony can afford that punch, I guess. If Spider-Man's selling, 30 million copies, I don't know what Wolverine's gonna do compared to Spider-Man, but because it's already a smaller audience because it's an M-rated game.
Is Wolverine a bigger superhero than Spider-Man? No,
not even close. I feel like Wolverine is pretty popular, but Spider-Man
kids love Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know if
There's so
just
many Spider-Mans on Halloween.
Yeah, there's no Wolverine.
How many Wolverines do you see?
With a fat,
none.
fat stogie and plastics.
Some kid with a freaking wife beater on.
Jobs. Like, what the fuck are you, kid?
I just don't know what the next 10 years of exclusives really look like. They don't really exist when you can wait a year and get most PlayStation exclusives on PC now. Like Nintendo is the last dinosaur in that race. We won't release our games anywhere else, and if you try to emulate them, we'll come shoot you in your house. So
we'll send you to the concentration camp.
Miyamoto will send you to work prison. Were there ever games where you were that kid staring into the window and being like, someday you'll be mine, like that were on another console that you didn't have? Like, what was the longest you've ever been like, I want to play that, I want to play that, and then years later you finally got the console and got to play it?
We actually had this discussion on the last Hidden Something stream where I basically like the
Something. It's
the
either hidden gem
commercial.
or hidden dirt.
It's Hidden Something. I don't know. It's the commercial for Kingdom Hearts 100% sold me on like I need to play this game. I need to get that console, and it just never happened for me. And
Yeah.
long story short, I think that was a good thing. I think I lucked out by not,
Get
not
KC to the
getting Kingdom
kingdom.
Hearts one.
Get KC to the kingdom.
I might have been
Was
a
it because of
different
the
version.
Utada Hukari song?
It was that. It was like all the Disney imagery and stuff. Like I was not a Final Fantasy kid, but like I knew it was a big franchise, but I was like, hey, this is a new thing. I don't have to start at 7 or 8. I want to get in on the ground floor of this.
Yeah.
Like this can be my thing. And I'm so glad that never happened.
Also, because if you got in the ground floor, it turned out it was the ground floor of the Minotaur's labyrinth. Like, I thought this was a building that just goes up every once in a while, but no, I got to find my way around this spaghetti bowl. Nick, did you ever have one?
Yeah, it was E3 2008 when they showed off Uncharted 2 for the first time. And I was immediately like, I'm all right, Mom, I'll be back. I'm gonna go have somebody drive me to GameStop, get rid of my Xbox. And I need that game in my hands right now. That and Killzone 2.
The PS3 was the last console I did not buy at launch. I didn't buy it until Metal Gear Solid 4. And I was like, Koji boy, you're back. I got to go out to Best Buy for you.
And then I got my PS3, and that day I got Metal Gear Solid 4, which I had never played a Metal Gear Solid game before. But then I got my favorite
great one to start
game.
on.
I got that, and then a much better game called Pain.
Making this Pain game.
Nick is you were the Pain. That was a Metal Gear character, Nick.
Pain is so good. Everybody
Pain
in
is so
chat who's
good.
played Pain, they know Pain.
No one talks about Pain. It is crazy. It is crazy how much you talk about Pain.
Pain is so good.
What? Someone's gonna fucking.
I mean,
You could
just
shoot a
don't
guy at a
believe it.
giant. You could shoot a guy at a giant bowling ball. That's great.
Sounds good. Why don't you stream it then, you coward?
Yeah.
Sorry, I called you a coward.
So I gotta emulate it, and I don't own it.
Buy it.
You should have just
Damn.
lied, and then you could emulate it, and it would have been legal.
I do own it.
And buy it, and then play it. What if you own it? Just play it.
It's not a physical copy available. It's only digital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You can still download PS3 stuff on PS3. I just downloaded. I downloaded
This
the
exact game is
PS3.
probably just.
I do own a PS3.
This exact game is probably just on the Apple App Store. Like I'm sure.
No, it's not. It's
Like, it
exclusive
has
to
to be.
PlayStation. It's the
Angry
reason
Birds-
I hate exclusives.
Angry Birds Pain.
Yeah, it's just a reskin version.
Yeah,
Nobody's even spelling pain.
that is
correctly.
Pain right now. Pain
Hey,
is.
look at
There's
that.
a thing called Mime
It's the
Toss.
monkey. Spank the monkey.
Nick sounds like a toddler right now.
I can't believe you might be the only human to buy this and Metal Gear Solid 4 at the same
It was
time.
free. It came with the PlayStation 3. It came
I
with
mean,
the
to be
fat
fair, Metal Gear
PS3.
Solid 4 has a monkey in a diaper and a dude who shits himself inside of a barrel. So
Well, okay, so Pain is
That monkey's
in
a
the
chain
same
smoker,
universe.
though. He's a
he is a
mature
chain
monkey.
smoker. Remember when Drebin kept telling us how every time we killed a woman, we made a bad choice?
Look, I have good memories of playing that game with my dad. And yes,
Oh.
That's great.
Sean Harriman is correct. It reminds me of Burnout 3 crashing. Yes, it's like basically Burnout's crash mode with a ragdoll person with a bunch of different physics. Shut up and play it.
I think the
you'll
cars
love
are cooler.
it. Yeah. Mm.
Snake, it turned
Uh-oh.
out she was an orphan. She had kids at home.
Terry will ask for the soundboard.
No, this
You don't have to.
a
This
streak
is-
that we're not gonna go down.
He broke everything.
He warned you. Marty warned you.
I didn't interrupt his intro. Do you think he's not going to come back? Why does your camera get broken and mine does?
I don't know what to tell you. We're not gonna let this become that kind of a show. Like that, like Marty's making a stand. I support him.
Marty's not making a stand. He'll be right
Marty's
back.
making a stand. I
He
support
went
his
to go
position.
pee.
He didn't need to turn his camera off to pee.
Oh, the audience said that was very loud. Well, you're welcome. I woke you all up. It's like 7 o'clock here. It's time to wake up.
We're sitting here talking about a soundboard when we should be talking about exclusive
This is
games and
exclusive
their
to the
relevance in
Firelink
2024.
podcast without Marty.
I mean, did we wrap this conversation up? We can keep going until Marty
I do wonder if
comes
in the
back,
audio
if he comes
recording-
back.
I do wonder if the audio recording, like you hear the Discord close button, because that's kind of fun.
That's a good question.
That's kind of fun.
That is funny. If you folks at home could just hear Marty disappear. Why Eric is replacing him with a GIF?
He'll be bad. But yeah,
My
I mean,
goodness.
I don't know how much more there is. It's like exclusives. I think like in general, the online audience that gets mad about them just don't deserve to be listened to anymore. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
they're just annoying. They don't.
yeah,
they're
the
mad.
conversation always gets centered around all that reactionism, and it's like none of that is at all important and matters. Like there are so many more people who do not care anywhere near as much. So you can just ignore it. Like that is an option for people on the internet.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm more interested in talking like the business questions surrounding it. I don't really care about people's reactions anymore because they'll bitch about it and then they're gonna go secretly play it anyway.
Yeah, like
But like I'm hiding in shame as I play Sea of Thieves on my PlayStation.
or they played it already. Like they're salty over the fact that they had like one up over their rival. It's like a sports thing almost. Like, oh, you're gonna give this star player to the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Like it's that sort of energy.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Console wars to me don't exist anymore. It's just it is what it is. I did message him to come back. But we'll see. He might be making a real stand against.
Did you apologize? Did
No.
you tell him sorry?
I did not, and I refused.
Marty just started his own stream on the side.
Just go have him go podcast on Twitch.
All right, looks like we're gonna have to fix.
No, you're doing
again.
great, Nick. Keep going. No, keep going, Nick. You were doing great. You're doing great. Are we done with this conversation?
Oh, we've been done. Wait for you to come back.
We managed to tie a nice little bow.
we tied it up by saying console wars don't matter. The people online yelling about it don't matter. Games are games.
There you go.
Xbox is a publisher. Pain.
We reached
Soundboard
consensus.
pain.
I am rooting for Xbox though. Like I want that to be clear. Like they are clear underdogs in this fight, and I would like them to punch a little harder and make the other guy sweat.
Yeah. Well, and that's like the you said it earlier. That's the annoying part about console wars is like everybody focuses on all the angry fans or whatever that just don't ever leave their house and build a shrine to their console and pray to it every night with a weekly sacrifice of something, of like a teddy bear or something. But Sony had beaten Xbox so badly at the competition in exclusive games for so long. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and maybe this direct finally feels like Xbox finally saying, "All right, we've got the guns. Time to show. Time to finally show."
Yeah, we've been waiting on that victory to come from all of this training montage we've been witnessing for the last. Like it's like the Rocky fight, right? Like go beat that guy up finally. Like what am I watching all this chicken chasing for?
We've also had. There should be just a supercut montage of us having this exact same conversation
exactly.
for the past 2.5 years before every single Xbox show.
At least this time they give us the exact lineup of what we were seeing, and it's all upcoming games that are. It's four games, and their plan is to have a game once a quarter. So,
yeah, and all 4 of the games they showed off last year are out now. I believe it was Redfall, it was Hellblade, it was Forza, and it was a thing.
Starfield, one of them.
Yeah,
I don't think it was Starfield. No, because they held the Starfield.
Well, they did the Starfield Direct right after.
A couple of weeks after.
It's Hi-Fi Rush, Forza, Minecraft Legends. That's the one we were thinking.
Oh, Minecraft.
Right, yeah, like so few of those made any noticeable impact. Even Starfield, which was their big darling, was kind of mixed when it came out. So it's like they continue to kind of just flounder in this.
Yeah, and when you look
Yeah.
at like the Game Award nominations and even like the Dice nominations just came out a couple hours ago. There's like the occasional exclusive, like you have your Spider-Man for Sony, you have Hi-Fi Rush, not really Starfield, for Xbox, and then like a Zelda or Mario for Nintendo. But then by and large, the games getting a bunch of the nominations are indies, which are usually across multiple platforms, or stuff like Baldur's Gate, Resident Evil 4, Alan Wake, Jedi Survivor. Games that were on multiple platforms to begin with, and
Mm.
I would imagine the same thing when you get to the end of this year. You're gonna the end of 2024, and we look back, that a majority of the best games are probably going to be games that released across multiple platforms.
Yep. Yeah, I think Xbox's year is gonna look like major release, double A indie, like exclusive release, major release, double A exclusive release. Keep people coming back to the Game Pass every 2 months or so.
Yeah,
with
and if they all
something
launch
fresh and
on
new.
Game Pass, then it's like it feels like a no-brainer for me to recommend people pick
Yeah.
that thing up and get a subscription. I know it kind of sucks to add another subscription, but when you look at all the shit you'll get to play and the money you won't be spending on having to buy games, yeah, can make a big difference. You want to talk about what we've been playing
Yeah.
/ watching? Casey, what have you been dipping your toes in?
All watching,
Okay,
not so much playing. Well, no, I mean, I did play some Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising,
that's
thanks
right. What'd you
to
think of
the
that?
last stream. That's a really good fighting game, in my opinion, and it's a really accessible fighting game in several ways. Like it's a franchise that does not have a super long history, at least here in the West. Like that franchise is actually pretty old and has like a lot of lore and stuff tied to it. But they are like side games um are they are trying very hard to make it the sort of franchise that folks in the West are aware of and know about. So like there are ways to learn that story. Like there's going to be the other game that comes out, which is an action adventure thing, Relink, which is going to retell the story that's from the mobile game series. There's an anime series that I've been meaning to watch that I'll probably try to get to soon. And I think the story takes place in the fighting game as well, but it is very boring. Like it's a lot of characters standing side by side talking to each other. I could not pay attention to that at all, especially in the middle of a live stream. So I probably won't be going back to that. But I thought the combat was like really good. Like it's an Arc System Works game, so like it is drop dead gorgeous. All the character art is fantastic. Like, and that's just true of the Grand Blue series in general. Like it just has really cool looking characters. Like they're on par with like anything, uh, any other like big major character centric franchise, like say
Yeah.
the MiHoYo verse or whatever.
And this is developed by Arc System Works, like you mentioned, who do Guilty Gear and like the
Mhm.
Persona Arena games. So yeah, in terms of like hand-drawn 2D animated fighters, like they're sort of at the top of the totem pole.
Yeah, and like it's got like cool side modes. Like there's a straight up multiplayer platformer thing, like Fall Guys. And like I remember from the press event, they specifically said like that's designed to kind of give you a cooldown period if you're online getting your ass kicked repeatedly. It's like you can
That's
go
funny.
jump into this other mode and do something very, very casual to like,
Yeah.
calm yourself down and then jump back into more matches afterwards. And like you have like this little a little kind of clippy like avatar that you can select and customize who will just comment on what you're doing as you scroll through the different modes in the game. Like you'll lose a fight, it'll pop up in the corner of the screen and say like, "Hey, losing is okay as long as you learn from your mistakes." Blah blah blah. Like it'll like try to give you encouraging words and stuff. And like it's kind of dumb, but also
Yeah.
kind of cool to just
I think
have
it's
this
kinda
sort of
cute, yeah.
weird AI companion.
Yeah.
So like I
Okay.
thought it was really really cool. I would like to play a lot more of it, to be honest.
Yeah, and then we'll yeah, like you mentioned, we'll have some impressions and probably do some streams of the Relink.
Relink, yeah.
Relink coming up soon.
I'm
I
actually
think that
really
released
excited
in
for
a few
that
weeks.
game.
Yeah, there are a lot
Weirdly,
of
weirdly
big-
enough, I don't know anything
big
about Grand
ones.
Blue, but that game looks really fun.
There you go.
It's got that
Well,
classic anime flash.
hell yeah.
But yeah,
And then
outside of that,
yeah, what were
I've
you
been
watching?
watching a bunch of stuff. A little while ago, I finished a Netflix series called Sanctuary. It's kind of it's a Japanese drama about it's not based on anything, but it's kind of pulled from headlines and stuff of like the professional sumo circuit, and it's kind of this it's the story about like this kind of bad boy of sumo. Like this guy kind of gets drawn into it after like he's kind of a delinquent. He comes from a bad, broken home. But somebody notices him as like a young retired judo champion and like sees his build and is like, hey, you'd be good for sumo. Let me train you up, because he's got like a school that's like on the rocks or whatever. So he gets into sumo. He's like naturally really good at it, but he doesn't respect it at all. And the whole show is basically trying to sell you on the idea that like sumo is this ancient Japanese art that is basically like a religion to these people. Like it is super steeped in tradition, and you need to respect it. You don't have to understand it. You just need to respect it. And it's simultaneously like beautiful and disgusting. Like none of the characters on the show are good people. Like you only really end up rooting for even the main character at the very end. And that's only because he gets indoctrinated into kind of the religion of sumo. Like he finally learns to respect it and takes it serious. Um, but they don't tell you why you should. So like in the back of my head, I'm like, I want to be on their side. But they still very much are like, no, you all are outsiders. Like you're not supposed to get this. It's for us. And like I don't know, like I'm very much of two minds about that. Like there are characters that they kind of position as the viewer. For example, like there's a reporter who's covering their training camp, and she's Japanese, but she grew up in America. And apparently she's she's mouthy. She asks too many questions. She doesn't respect the sanctity of the dojo, whatever. And she gets humbled by a lot of people in a lot of very disrespectful ways. Like several characters call her like an idiot, tell her to shut her mouth and stuff. And like she doesn't, like normally in media you would basically have a comeuppance where you come to an understanding in the middle. Maybe like, okay, maybe she was being too brash, but maybe they were being too rude, and like you come to the middle. Everyone and everything converts over to the philosophy of the show's version of sumo by the end of the series. And like it is fascinating to watch.
Sumo.
Like it's fascinating to watch. But the end of season 1 does not conclude. Like you get a real ramp up to a situation where like you are pumped. You're like, I need to see what happens, and this is the end of first season, and that sucks. Like that was actually kind of actively upsetting, because like there's a big match that you just get to the very start of it. They do not show you what happens. So I hope this comes back, because I need to know what's going on. But I don't know. This show's not for the faint of heart. Like it is pretty gross. There's a lot of man ass, as you can imagine.
A lot of man ass.
But it like outside of just that, it is gross. Like characters do really gross and disgusting things to each other. Like people are like there are bad people in the show that are just not just bad people in general. But I liked it overall. I thought it was good.
Do you know if it's getting a next season?
I have no idea. I've not heard anyone talking about this show. But like I don't know why it popped up like front and center on my Netflix recommendations, and I guess they know me because I saw the trailer and was like, yes, I will try this.
Netflix, I will look at it. Thank you.
I will look at all that man ass.
It's I liked it. I liked it. I think the anyone who finds this interesting, like the concept interesting, I think you'll get something out of it if you watch it. But if you're like, no, I don't give a shit about sumo, then yeah, leave it alone. It's probably not gonna do nothing for you. I watched Gran Turismo because that popped up on Netflix. I was actually sold on the trailer of that. I know a lot of folks thought that it was like pretty like run of the mill, like cookie cutter. But like me and my family watched that movie and we were like hype. Like we were like completely sold on like that character's journey and like the stakes involved. Like I did not know any of the specifics about Jan. I can't remember his last name right now, but the main character in the series. And I didn't bother looking up afterwards because I felt like that would have killed the mystery. But like, if that is what happened from this kid's career, going from a gamer to a pro racer, that is a fascinating story. And like, I 100% understand why they would make that into a movie.
And it's probably like the only game where that could happen. Like, there's no other game where you can be like, I'm so good at Call of Duty, I became like a sniper. Like
I'm so great at virtual tennis, I beat Serena Williams. Like, it's just not a thing.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, like that's actually, it's super fascinating. Like, the best thing it does, I think, is really sell you on how dangerous racing is. Like, because the thing that I'm sure everyone is afraid of is like, oh, this is going to make people be like, all right, well, I could do it too, right? The
Yeah.
answer is probably no, you cannot. Like no matter how good you are at a racing sim, actual racing is stupid dangerous. And this movie beats you over the head with that fact. And like even the character here like has an experience that is like, yo, maybe I shouldn't have done this because like this is so much more dangerous than what I
Yeah.
was doing beforehand.
Yeah, I should have just kept playing that game.
Yeah, like it is. I really, really like Gran Turismo. And finally, I got around to watching Captain Laserhawk, the Blood Dragon remix. I've been meaning to watch it because it's an animated thing. And I was actually very surprised by how good that show is. Like it literally remixes not just the Far Cry Blood Dragon stuff, but like it borrows characters from a bunch of Ubisoft properties and
Yeah, I
like
saw like
throws them
Rayman pop
all.
up and
Yeah, Rayman's in there, Jade from Beyond Good and Evil, Sam Fisher makes an appearance, Marcus Holloway from the second Watch Dogs
Mhm.
is in there, and like they're all very different characters from like the games they're from. So like again, like it is a remix. Like it's not a Ubisoft connected universe in like a traditional sense. It's kind of like a really cool, almost like grungy fan version of like what it would be to have a Ubisoft connected universe. Like
Yeah.
it's a really good like realistic cyberpunk city. Like it's every bit as good as like CD Projekt Red's Night City in the way they like kind of frame the world and like all this dystopian ills and stuff. It's got amazing action. It's got like really good music. And like the dialogue between characters is legit like 80s action good. Like it's not like jokey, cringy. Like the shit these guys say back and forth is both like raw, like they'll curse each other's faces off, like real vulgar, but like it's like, oh shit, he means business at the end of it. Like I was so hyped watching this series. I It's like so much happens in it. Like I'm a huge fan of this show now. Like I hope it gets a second season because outside of Blue Eye Samurai, this might be the second best animated thing I've seen from last year because it was so much better than I thought it would be.
Did you play Blood Dragon?
No, I never played Blood Dragon actually.
So I did, and I didn't like it because I didn't like its tone. I didn't like
Yeah,
and
that one is like
didn't-
more parody jokey, right?
Yes, and that's why I just haven't watched this because I was like, I just really did not like that game. So I feel like just
yeah, this
sitting
show's
through a
tone is
season of it.
it's not at all like parody. Like it's like there are funny moments in it, but it's not meant to be like a joke. It is
Yeah.
dead serious about what's happening. Like characters die. There's like drugs. There's like prejudice and like it is
Rayman
dead
doing
serious what the
cocaine.
storytelling is doing. Yeah, Rayman is definitely doing lines off his desk. I can't
my
believe they
arms
allowed
go.
that to happen.
he
I
gets
guess
so
they're
high
not
you can
a-
actually see his arms again.
Not quite as precious with their IP as someone like Nintendo is.
Yeah, look at like he's like eating sushi off like a stripper's ass. Like it is great. It is
I
a
need to
good
watch this
ass
for that
watch.
scene.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I've been checking out.
I like how it's
Yeah.
Blue Eye Samurai and that, like the big two.
Yeah,
Inside
like-
of us there are two wolves.
It's shocking how good it is, in all honesty.
Blue Eye Samurai was great. I finished it. I don't know if I said that, but it's great. Excellent first season.
Yeah.
So excited for where they go next. I know where they go next, but I'm not going to say because it'd be a spoiler.
Hmm.
Gets contacts and becomes the green-eyed samurai. I don't think they had contacts back then, did they? Or they were probably like very uncomfortable.
They built a sword out of meteorite. I'm pretty sure they could figure out green eye contacts.
That's what eye bleach was for. Change the color of your eyes.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
that's not what's gonna happen. I
It
promise.
just gets rid of your eyes.
Is that what happened? Nick, you been playing anything? Watch anything?
The one thing I've been playing we can't talk about yet because we're under embargo. So didn't really. Yeah, I've been just working a lot this week.
Talk about Pacific Drive.
Oh yeah, we can talk about Pacific Drive finally. So didn't talk about that last week at all. But yeah, we the game I was referring to that I referred to by name was Pacific Drive last week. That is actually a game that I've had on my radar, and if you don't know what it is, it's kind of like a survival narrative adventure where your entire game is kind of based around being in this like junker car, and you kind of have to go watch a trailer to kind of see what it is. It's got like roguelite mechanics and stuff like that, but it's also very narrative driven. It's Pacific Drive, Eric. Our producer was asking what the name of the game was so I can show footage on screen, but what I got from the game right away is like basically if you like Subnautica, this is basically that but with a car. And it's actually like but it's also it's not just like Subnautica though. It's like also an immersive sim. Like there's puzzles, there's physics, there's scrapping stuff that like upgrade your car. So there's like a very immediate addictive loop of looking and scavenging for things to keep upgrading your car to make your car more powerful.
Does it all take place in the car?
No, you get out of your car too, like, and you can walk around, and like that's where some of the puzzles and the immersive sim elements come into place. It's got a very like Half-Life feel to it, also in like its world and its atmosphere. I don't know, like you just if you when you get to play the game, like if you're not hooked in like the first hour, I'd be surprised. It's like one of those games that like you can just tell right away this is gonna be a winner, because it's got like the narrative feel of like a Firewatch. It's got the immersive sim elements. The driving's a lot of fun. There's a lot of tension and like the horror aspect of the game. It's a game that like I ended up like I could have played more of the preview if I wanted to, but I actually ended up putting it down because I'm like, you know what? I just want to play this fresh when it comes out. Like I'm having like really, really good time with this game.
Yeah, it's popped up in a couple bigger showcases, and it's coming out February 22nd, and it's coming out on PlayStation and PC.
Yeah, so yeah, if you haven't paid much attention to Pacific Drive yet, definitely go take a look at some of the previews. We're figuring out what previews look like on Second Wind, so we haven't done any preview stuff yet, but definitely go take a look. And I think a lot of you will be surprised by this one. I think it's definitely gonna be like a big sleeper hit of the year, I think.
It'd be great. I'm always excited for the first big sort of
Cool.
indie banger of the year.
Yeah, and this is like true, it's from Kepler Interactive publisher, so they're doing stuff like Flintlock with Aurora 44 and all that. So that's a high quality Aurora 8. Well, they're A44. They did Ashen.
Ashen.
And now they're making that Flintlock game. But Kepler is also the one that published Scorn. They published Sifu. So just a lot of quality behind that publisher.
Chia.
That
was Chia
and then
joke, but also a Chia pet.
We got
the other
Those are little plants that you water.
On stream yesterday, I played a Briss Build to Destroy, which is like a indie physics-based puzzle game with a lot of destruction, lots of cool physics. And as I promoted on stream yesterday, I was not good at physics in high school. It's probably like one of the classes I failed. And I proved myself that I still don't know physics very well on stream yesterday, so that was fun. Slightly embarrassing, but also that game is just a nice put on a podcast and destroy some shit with cool puzzles and lots of trial and error. So if you like building stuff, you like destroying stuff, a Briss Built to Destroy is plenty fun. You can go watch our stream from yesterday. And the show I started finally is Yellowstone. I wanted to make it my first show of the year that I watched, so I got almost done with season 1, and I think I've just come to realize Taylor Sheridan is currently like my favorite director of everything. That man he just puts out quality after quality, and he is basically owns Paramount Plus. every show on there is his. He's got 1886. He's got 1923. He's executive producer on Mayor of Kingstown. He's got the new Lumen Bass Reeves. He's executive producer of Special Ops Lioness, which also Kojima tweeted about the other day as one of his favorite shows right now.
Ooh.
So that's a huge sell.
Kojima's got a really bad taste in movies. If I'm gonna be honest.
It's a TV series.
I'm Kojima's #1 defender, and I'm like, ooh.
But yeah, like Taylor Sheridan just kind of hits everything I like really character driven dramas and historical epics. And so like he's kind of hitting all the right notes for me, and like I think he's just the master of the Western genre right now, to be quite frank. And so yeah, if you don't know, 1886 is a limited series prequel to Yellowstone, and 1923 is also a limited series prequel to Yellowstone, and both chronicle different eras of the Dutton family, who are the main family in all of Yellowstone.
So you watched like the prequels before Yellowstone?
Yeah.
Like you did this on purpose? You're like, I want to get into this universe in chronological order?
No, 1886 looked so good. I had no idea like really much. Didn't know much about Yellowstone because it wasn't on Paramount. It's on Peacock, because Peacock still has the rights for it. and so I watched 1886, then I watched 1923 last year, and then and then Yellowstone. So, but yeah, and then like the Lum Bass Reeves trailer, saw that like a couple days ago, and like that looks incredible. Like, and that's gonna probably watch it at the same exact time. But yeah, Taylor Sheridan just hasn't missed for me. Like Sicario, like the first one, not the sequel.
Sicario's great.
Sicario's great. I really loved Wind River. What was the movie he did
River's
right
great.
before that? What was the movie he did right before that?
Hell or High Water.
Hell or High Water. Yeah, I've liked all of his movies.
Mhm.
Yeah, that man
So-
definitely stays in an era.
Yeah, he's got a thing. It's fine to have a thing. He's very good at that thing.
Yeah, and he's been doing different stuff. Like Special Ops Lioness is different, and Mayor of Kingstown is very different as well. What's his face is the head of or the main guy in that
Hawkeye
show.
himself.
Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, right?
Yeah,
I saw him on
But-
CNN's New Year's thing. He's like better now. Like he's gonna go back to acting this year, which is pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
because it's like he almost had his leg amputated in like
Yeah,
a
he was
snowplow
in a
accident.
very nasty accident.
But yeah, Taylor Sheridan just like really gets character dramas. Like he does a really good job of like making every character story like just I don't know, like some shows like will have an entire episode dedicated to one character to tell their story. The way he does shows, like their stories just build up simultaneously as everybody else's story is going on at the same time. And like his dialogue is always really on point, and like the action scenes are great. Like he's just I never realized what he's like. He got his like big start in Sons of Anarchy, which is one of my favorite shows ever. So he was I
It shows
highly
you should check out Lost.
I did check out Lost. I've watched
Great.
Lost once.
How great is it? Oh my god! Imagine what would happen if you watched it again. I'll do a rewatch. If you put it on, I'll put it on.
Just call each other on the phone and like press
Yeah.
play at the same time.
And John Lee bringing up The Wire. Yeah, I need to watch The Wire at some point, and I need to watch the Deadwood series too at some point.
I remember Deadwood.
They're both really good. Yeah, I'm trying to do. I'm doing a couple rewatches. Surprise, surprise. Because the goal was to watch all 3 seasons of True Detective before Night Country comes out on Sunday, and I'm not going to finish that. But True Detective season 1, an absolute banger. Oh my god.
So True Detective is just you don't need to watch all the seasons, right? They're just anthologies because
Yeah,
I just want
they're
to watch
completely
season
different
1.
situations.
and I
Season
wanna
1
watch
is far and away the
Night
best.
County.
And then the new one seems really cool. So yes, just
Yeah,
watch
Darren-
season 1.
Darren's
The one
praised
with
it.
Mahershala Ali wasn't bad.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. It wasn't 1, but also wasn't 2. So that's good.
Yeah, Vince
So
Vaughn,
that's
get out of here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm gonna be eating good on TV shows this year because I'm historical epics guy, and we get Masters of the Air from Apple. That's the new
Oh hell yeah! You watch
show
Band of
from.
Brothers?
I have not yet.
Wait a minute. What?
I don't know why. I don't know why I've never watched Band of Brothers or
You
the
should watch,
Pacific.
you should watch it. You should watch Band of Brothers before you watch any of these other shows.
Yeah, those
I-
those are really good shows.
I'm
got
gonna
Schwimmer.
I'm gonna binge. Yeah, I do know that. I've watched I've rewatched the pilot for Band of Brothers multiple times, and I think it's just like very slow until you get to the back half, and I've always fallen off it for some stupid reason. But yeah, I'm gonna basically.
Taylor Sheridan wrote it.
Okay,
That's how I'm gonna get you to. It's like putting like a pill and peanut butter for a dog.
yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna binge Yellowstone for the next few weeks, and then I'll watch Band of Brothers and The Pacific before Masters of the Air. But yeah, we're reading pretty good because we get Masters of the Air. I'm really curious to see Halo Season 2.
Nick, what are you doing?
It's the fall of Reach.
What's wrong
Like
with
they can't fuck it up.
You're
They can't
just
fuck-
waiting
they
for
can
them to
fuck it
kick
up,
your
man.
ass in
Hold
the
my
heart.
beer.
I am ready to be kicked in the balls again watching that show. Yes,
Jesus,
I've
that's
had a
insane.
whole 2 years to prepare for that. And
Nick,
then,
do we need to do you need to rewatch some of those episodes of the recap when we were talking about it?
Oh,
didn't
I
like
do.
it.
No,
You
I did
didn't
not
like
like it. I did not like it. Well, I liked parts of it. Didn't like most of it.
Yeah, where he hams down. That's the only part I
Hey.
liked.
John Lee wanted to say, no, Nick, why? I'm going to watch it for your entertainment so you can listen to me bitch about it, how much I hate it. But then the real show I'm looking forward to is Shogun. on
That's a
February
good
27th.
screenshot though. Like that picture of Halo looks like Halo is a good show.
What if instead of the Halo show, it was just a single image? It's a good screenshot. It's
Well,
not
you
a bad
did it.
screenshot.
Yeah, it's better imagined in my head than it is. It's actually
Yeah, there you go.
going.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. The season 2 trailer looked okay. I'm not gonna lie, it looked okay. And they got all new showrunners and everything. They kicked everybody. Like, I, I hate to sound mean, but they got Kiki Wolfhill away from Halo. They got all that Halo leadership away from the show. They
Mm.
clearly could not figure out what they wanted Halo to be. So we'll see. We'll see if this is a. I'm very, very, very
Yeah,
curious if this is a
if it's new
reset.
showrunners, yeah, I think it's worth giving it a second shot.
Yeah, I'm curious if because they didn't. That whole side of the story that Eric's showing with the. I don't even remember the girl's name. They weren't even anywhere in the trailer at all. It was just
Melissa.
about Master Chief versus the Covenant on Reach, and I'm like, yes, this is where we want to be. This is fartsy artsy Master Chief's bullshit, screwing ladies to see his future on the
Sex
ring.
isn't artsy fartsy. What is going
In
on?
Halo, it is. That man
Keep your
should.
hamming out my Halo. I'm excited, even though I shouldn't be. I'm excited for Mr. and Mrs. Smith because of Donald Glover.
True.
I have been keeping an eye on that too.
I think that series is going to be subversive in a really cool way because it's like everyone keeps asking the question, why did you make this?
Yes, you could do literally whatever.
So I want to see why he made it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Donald Glover, have you seen this 21 Savage biopic thing?
With him and then the kid from Stranger Things both played 21
I
Savage?
don't understand what that's supposed to be. Like, I think it's
that's why you're gonna
promo
watch
for
it.
an album, but like, I'm not gonna watch it
They
because
said it's a
21 Savage
movie.
is probably one of the worst rappers of the modern era. Like,
Agreed.
every single song he has ever been featured on is immediately made worse.
But
Like, unlistenable.
Donald Glover's got to be thinking something, right?
Right. So like
going
for
on
Donald
there.
Glover to like attach himself to, I mean, but he's a fan of like down south, like kind of mumble rap guys anyway, even though he doesn't make that music, he's a fan of that stuff. So I don't know. This just seems like a very strange project. Like that screenshot of him as 21, like doing that weird, creepy smile cracks me up every single time I see it.
Yeah. We're gonna do a full breakdown, full spoiler cast of the 21 Savage film. If it is, I don't know what it is.
No one knows what it is.
No one knows, but it's provocative. Gets people going. I've been I'm almost done and up to date with The Curse. Have you guys heard about The Curse at all? This Emma Stone show. Emma Stone, Nathan Fielder.
Oh, right. Yes, Emma Stone. I remember.
What platform is this on?
It's on Showtime, so that's probably why you might not.
So that's about as good as MGM Plus these days.
No, wait, and now I'm trying to think. No, Showtime is now a part of
Paramount.
So if you have Paramount, you have Showtime.
I have this show.
You do have this show.
I haven't seen it.
You might hate
at
it
all.
unless like Nathan Fielder, like Nathan for You, and that kind of stuff is a very specific kind of like. If you think the awkward moments in The Office are awkward, this is like true awkward. But it's Emma Stone giving arguably like the best performance in TV history. She is so fucking good in this show. Like it is one of those like it is astounding. Like Emma Stone, I'm pretty sure is the best actor alive right now. Daniel Day-Lewis is too busy cobbling fucking shoes. She took the crown. So if Daniel Day-Lewis ever wants to stop making
Madam
shoes,
Web.
why is she was already Gwen Stacy?
Because she's good.
Oh, that's right. She's dead. I forgot.
She was already Gwen Stacy. Hey, she's not above taking a paycheck. I don't mind it. But that show, its final episode is coming up. It's hard to even explain what it's about. It's about the making of a fake reality. It's about the making of a reality show in the American Southwest, and it's this couple who renovates houses, and how the husband gets cursed because he on camera tries to buy candy from a girl to look good, and gives her $100 bill because he has nothing else, and then afterwards wants it back. And she's like, I curse you. And he gets cursed. And like everything bad starts happening to this couple. And it is some of the most awkward and uncomfortable television you will ever see in your life. The final episode is this weekend. I'm very excited. Far less awkward.
That is a great premise.
It's a really good premise. It's a really good premise.
I feel like when I use the soundboard and you left the chat, you cursed me.
I did. I cursed you. That was you. That was you taking or asking for the $100 back. Far less awkward was Delicious in Dungeon, which is the kind of big new Netflix anime. It's weekly right now, so if you prefer to watch your anime in one big meal as opposed to
do.
portioned out. Like what I did there.
Yeah, I see it.
I'd
I
wait.
get it.
But it's great. It's by Trigger, who some of the best visual artists in all of anime.
Sold.
Yeah, and it's great. It's about this dungeon adventuring party who lose a member of their party like super deep down into a dungeon, and like her last act before she gets swallowed by a monster is like sending them like a transportation spell back to the beginning of the dungeon, and so they're like, we need to get back down there to try to save her, to see if she's still there. But then half the party leaves, and so they're going into this dungeon, and dungeons almost like become like a like a thing that like, there's a bunch of like hunters and party members on the first floor of the dungeon hanging out, and then they start going deeper and deeper and shit starts popping off. And they realize that they have no money, so they need to survive based on what they find and forage and hunt in the dungeons. That means eating monsters, but luckily they find this like dwarvish gnome cook who's like a really good cook of like monsters. No, and so he teaches them like the joy of you eat the things you hunt. And so it's only been one episode so far, but it's been absolutely delightful, and I'm very excited to see more of it. It's great. It's just a very great chill time and good looking food, even though it's like made from like slimes and like crab monsters, man-eating plants, but it turns out to be good food. And apparently the manga is really good, which Coconut Rice and several other people have said that is like the manga is incredible. So yeah, first episode was great. Are you still watching Vinland Saga? Are you still animeing, Nick?
I finished Vinland Saga. I moved on to Attack on Titan. I think I finished did I finish the first season? I don't know. I was like binging it, and then I think I got fired, and then I forgot to keep binging. So
if you get to the second season, Taylor Sheridan wrote that one too.
Okay, I'm in. Is there Halo in it too?
There's Eren Yeager.
Master. Oh no.
Oh no.
In which form?
Oh, like in a robot form, or he's not a robot, I guess, right?
Like bare ass form? Is that what you're asking?
No. Well, Eren Yeager.
Oh, Eren Yeager.
Oh, no, yeah, Eren Yeager gets bare assed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, which form?
No,
whatever knows.
It doesn't do it for me.
Did you finish Attack on Titan, Casey?
No, I got really upset when I thought it was the end and it wasn't.
But it is
so
done.
Like, I'm like, they said that, right? Is it done?
Yeah.
Yes,
like,
it is done.
It's it's done.
All right, I guess I'll watch it.
In theory, once bitten, twice shy.
I finished all my shows, so I can just jump right into that.
Henry Carval quoted me and says, "I got fired." Nick's tragic backstory. Like literally, like 4 days ago, it was two whole months, and like I was just literally feels like 6 months. 6 months has passed. don't know what happened in November. I was like binging the shit out of like Tears of the Kingdom, and I just suddenly stopped playing it again. So I finished two of the Sky. Well, I finished the 2 Sky dungeons, but I haven't gone back.
Wait, that was after you got fired. We talked about
it on
the
the
show.
I know that was after. I know. I just suddenly put the game down, and I don't know why. And
Did
now
you start
having a
playing
really
something
hard.
else?
I don't know. I'm having a really hard time convincing myself to go back to it.
Maybe you just don't like it.
No, I get it. Yeah,
But I did like it.
Oh, you should go back to it.
It can be likable, and you still don't want to play it.
Sure. I mean, that's me and Alan Wake 2. Is I need to be in the mood. I need to light the candles.
It's like we're like already back in review season, so like I'm suddenly stressed out about covering games again.
It's because you got the only code for it. You got to fucking play it and talk about it. That's on you.
What game?
Hercules. It rhymes with Prince of Persia.
Oh, well, Yahtzee's on that one.
You took the other code, so you have to
I put
play
it.
it.
I put it in shared account.
Isn't it like? Doesn't Ubisoft?
Account?
What?
There's a New Mexico.
No. It's in our. We have one on our PS5 shared account.
Oh, I don't like that account.
Okay.
I don't like that account. I don't trust it. I don't trust
Nintendo fanboy.
I used to play. No. I played PS5.
Console Wars alive and well in Marty's head.
Just don't like that account because if someone else goes on, you get kicked off. What are we doing? And if you're offline, you're like, we gotta check to see if you're online. I don't like it. Stressful. Too stressful.
Yeah, that just feels really illegal.
Yeah.
Sharing a PlayStation account.
I don't want Jack Trenton coming to arrest me.
He sounds like a detective, by the way. So he'll find out.
The G-Silent stream is still going over there. You can still chat on that.
In fact, we encourage it. Go over and check on the
Go
Jusant
over
stream.
there. We want someone to propose to their significant other on the Jusant stream.
Oh my god.
Like,
In the
I don't
chat.
know if Jusant is
Will
a hidden
that-
gem or not, but I know
Yeah.
that you can't hide from me any longer.
Yeah. Here's a not so hidden gem. That was the ring.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I finally got there in prep for Rebirth, and it's
Is
great.
that the last game in the list?
Technically, yes. There's also the Integrate Intermission, the Yuffie DLC,
Oh,
but
right.
it's technically
Mm.
just part of the same game. It is delightful. It is so pretty. It's the first time I'm playing it on PS5 because I only played it the one time on PS4. Very good looking. Let me tell you,
Mm.
those characters are so great. Oh my god, I think Jesse and Cloud. I think they have a future together. We're gonna see. Yeah, I think they're great.
Do you didn't you say you had to read some books?
Yeah, I have 3 books I need to read.
What?
Are these like long books or like
No,
little...
they're pretty short. One's a couple short stories. One's split in half. I'm sure all the words
then-
aren't important, so I'll just skip some of the words. It's fine. Doesn't matter.
And then you have movie stuff to watch?
No, I already finished the movies.
Oh, okay.
I watched the movies on my Twitch channel and then deleted the VOD, or there was no VOD. No one came after me.
And you already played the
got it.
Crisis Core remake.
I played Crisis Core Remake. I played Dirge of Cerberus,
I see.
which on an emulator was not running well, and so cutscenes would play at like 60% speed, so characters just sounded drunk as hell when they were
Oh, yeah.
talking.
I started that Crisis Core remake. I did not like it at all. The game, like I
I-
was expecting gameplay like Final Fantasy VII remake, and it is
Yeah.
nothing like it.
Like, what is this fucking slot machine? Why is this here?
Yeah.
Why is this here? I can't imagine. It's even hard for me. You know, when you're like super deep into something and someone's like, well,
Yeah.
how would it be if I came in new? And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if this is friendly to new people.
Yeah, well, just like the combat arena gameplay in the Crisis Core remake is just not fun.
Yeah, I mean, it still has the bones of, it might look modern, but it has the bones of a
The
PSP game.
PSP game, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
so it was meant to be played in these little bite
So
size.
sounds like I should just like watch the story catch up if I care about anything.
Yes, you could probably watch
Okay.
a very good.
Glad I spent the money on
15
that game.
Is there a thing I could watch to learn the Final Fantasy VII story so that I could just jump into remake? Because I've been meaning to try that, but folks said that it's actually different from Final Fantasy VII, and so
So that's
I
why you
would
should just play
miss-
the remake.
That's why I should just play the remake.
Yeah, yeah, it's the Final Fantasy VII story in its own way. You'll spoil
thought it-
yourself on the
I mean,
entire
you
game
can-
if you play if
you
you
could
watch the
get
Final Fantasy VII
into-
story.
You could get into the series with just remake.
'Cause that's
I would
what I
say.
did. I'm caught up on the story.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Um,
All right,
Spoiled.
yeah, folks shooed me away from that idea last time I brought it up.
No,
Like, oh,
no. I mean,
like,
you
there's all
won't
this
like.
context that you won't get because
It's one of
like,
those things where that's what Frost was like. Oh, should I? What? Like, can I just play this new Yakuza game? Do I need to play the old ones? I'm like, let's fucking play the new one. Just see, like, just get in there. If it can hold its weight, it'll hold its weight. Like, yes, you're not gonna recognize all the things, and there's gonna be like little nods that everyone claps at. It's I don't know. It'd be like if you go to see fucking the Mario movie, but you haven't played all the Mario games, and you're like, I don't know why these kids are clapping at this point. But you can just watch it. I don't know. It's just a story. That was a terrible.
it sounds like a
comparison.
bad analogy, but
That
like,
was a terrible analogy.
yeah,
I wish
I was gonna say I got an MCU thing.
Yeah, I wish
Okay.
they never introduced Kiryu into like a dragon.
Why?
Because now I feel like I had to play 5 and 6 to get all of his story.
Oh, that's fine. You'll catch up with it. I don't know. He's just angry. He had some shit happen. I haven't played 5 or 6, and I didn't play the last one. Like the man who wasn't there.
I haven't
Whatever
played
his
that
name is.
either. They're so long.
Yeah.
And
So
there's so
everyone
much
keeps saying
talking.
Frost should play
There's
7
so
first.
much talking.
No, you can't. The easiest way to discourage someone from doing something is by giving them homework. That's why you just say dive in. Maybe they'll enjoy the thing. Like my first Persona game was Persona 5. There were some people who were like, "Yeah, you need to start with 3 and 4." I never would have played them. Never would
but
have played
those
them.
are like Final Fantasy in that they're completely different, right? Like they don't jump off.
Yeah,
of,
but there were still people saying like, "You need to play this." Like,
those are
story can
weeps.
hold
You
it-
don't listen to weeps.
oh, I
Yeah,
listen to it all the time.
seven.
This
Yeah,
is all-
I mean, I never played Final Fantasy 7 and 7 remake story, and I had never gotten spoiled on Final. I mean, I know like some of the stuff that happens.
Right,
in
sure,
7, but
same.
I've
yeah.
never been like fully spoiled on it or anything like that. So like remake felt like a complete first chapter of the story for me.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it plenty. You get to know the characters and stuff. So yeah, you don't need all the backstory to play 7
No,
Remake.
and if you end up liking something enough, you'll go back and do your homework, and it won't feel like homework because you'll be like wanting to do things. I like Persona 5 so much, I ended up going back and playing every Persona game. I played the ones where they dance. I played fighting games. I played 2 fighting games
Oh damn!
all the way
Is
to
there story
completion.
in there, or you just?
Yeah, it's great. And then they had to
All right.
fight. I'm like, can you guys just fucking get over it? Like, tell me who wins, and then we'll go to the next story thing. Probably, I'm gonna be honest. I probably should just watch the cutscenes. I feel like that would save me some time. But
Yeah, that was an
you know,
option.
That's kind of what I want to do for Yakuza 5 and 6 because I got
yeah,
so
or just watch
burnt.
it.
I played 1 through 4 and I got so burnt out on the Yakuza gameplay.
You
Sure,
played
yeah.
4 of those straight. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm surprised you swear it off for life.
Yeah,
well, like I love the turn-based combat of Like a Dragon.
yeah.
So
It's
like I think it, and the stuff that they're doing in the sequel is just expanding on it, and making it even better. So without breaking embargoes. So
Bargo Busters.
but if Yakuza's cutscenes were not a half hour each, and there's like a billion of them, I could do it. I could play through those games and get through all the combat and have a good time. But they talk so fucking much in those games.
That's true.
They do a lot of talking. Oh my god.
There is no game
they're
that has more
so-
talking than
They're so
Yakuza.
endearing. They're so endearing. Oh my god. There's just a couple of buds hanging out. Just a couple of buds getting into fights.
Yakuza
great.
has like almost the same amount of talking as Persona does, I think.
Yakuza's just wrestling. Speaking of Persona, we're gonna be back this Sunday. We're gonna be playing Persona all day. 10 a.m. Central. Schedules being locked in. You'll see familiar faces, special guests, celebrity panelists.
Ooh.
I mean, Amy's like a celebrity. That's like, that works. Whatever. Close enough.
Yep, that cutscene alone is the reason to play Yakuza Like a Dragon. The baby boys.
Nice baby boys. You get a bunch of baby boys in the Yakuza games. They're sweet.
That is the weirdest side mission I've ever played in a game.
It's great. It's great. I love it. What a dumb game. Nick? What do you have going on? What should folks check out?
Tomorrow I'll be back with J-Mate from 3 to 5 p.m. Central playing the finals. Maybe we'll find a third person to join us so we have a full team. KC, you want to join us?
What time is that again?
3 to 5 p.m. CT.
I might be free. I'll check back in with me tomorrow.
Okay. Tell Ubisoft you quit and you're playing the finals for Korea.
I will not do that. That's a bad idea.
And then so we'll have Semi Ramblematic tomorrow, and then we'll have Design Delve on Friday and Adventure is Nigh on Saturday. More streams throughout the week, which Marty will fill you on a second. And then Sunday from 10 to 5, 10 to 4. I don't remember what we said. I know we said 10 a.m. 10 to 5. Persona 5 all day. I'm not going to finish the game.
Palace,
I don't know where I'll be.
And you know what the best part of Persona is? After you beat the boss of a palace, several hours of non-gameplay.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah. So we do. This is another Persona stream where we kick it off with a bunch of action, and then I have to keep myself awake.
I give you full
hours.
permission to fast forward through the story. At this point, it's fine. I'll catch you up. I'll give you.
But
the
I like
broad
the
strokes.
story.
That's why Marty's there to catch you up.
Because you want your sexy nurse. You can slow down with the sexy nurse.
Trying to min-max the dating sections.
Yeah.
I just like her for the drugs.
Casey, what do you have going on? We tomorrow night.
Yep.
You and I started Devil May Cry 3.
Yes.
Good one.
Brand new Devil May Cry. Who dis?
Oh, and the Persona stream will be on the main channel. Just to be clear.
Correct.
Oh, neat. Yeah, outside of that stream, I'll probably be around this weekend for stuff if we do anything this weekend.
Yeah, I believe the plan Saturday 4 p.m. is possibly Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yes, it'll be on Twitch. Jumbly Wumbly Persona stream will be on Twitch. But yes, it'll be Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Saturday at 4 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there. Jesse Galena will be there. We'll see who else will be there.
Leatherface himself.
I think
Matthew McConaughey, star of Texas Chainsaw Massacre #2.
He was in that?
He was in one of those shitty ones. Yeah. So was Dennis Hopper.
By the
Uh,
way, I've been playing a lot of Texas Chainsaw. Sorry to cut you off, Casey, but
No,
this is
no,
a
go ahead.
funny anecdote. If there was one game I never expected to get teabagged in, it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And last night, I got bodied by Leyland, which is a character that can knock you down. He sat over Leatherface and teabagged me.
You as Leatherface got
Yeah,
teabagged
Leatherface
by like
got
a teenager.
teabagged. Yeah.
What a humbling moment for
Kind of
Leatherface.
deserves it.
I was
Yeah.
so mad.
What are you gonna do
Back
about
to
it?
you,
Drink
Casey.
more tea?
I did
Yeah.
kill him for it. Yes.
But yeah, in terms of like my personal stuff, you can find me at Sigma Gears 9 on all the socials. I've started streaming with my fiance on Friday evenings, so 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're playing a series which I'm currently calling Casey and Kia Try to Get Married. We'll just be playing we'll be playing like random, not random, but like either co-op games or like kind of story heavy like detective-esque games, so that we have to work together, try to figure out what's going on and stuff.
Nice.
And we'll be
To
taking a
play,
lot
you have to
of
play It Takes Two with her.
oh, we played most of that game. We'll probably go
Oh,
back
okay.
and finish it, but like we dropped off because it was just taking too long. That game was
Oh.
bad long for no reason. But yeah, we've got some goals up. The first one, my son, since he was on the initial stream, volunteered to have to dress up as something chat suggests if we reach the first tier of the goal of $1,000. So we just need something funny because my son asked for Spider-Man, and I do not want you to give him Spider-Man. He's dressed
Spider
as Spider-Man
Pig.
several times in his life. Give him something he'll remember.
Kids do love
Spider
Spider-Man.
Pig and duct tape him to the ceiling.
That's not a costume though.
But
Ah!
it's funny.
So yeah, so that's a really fun stream. Join us for that on Friday evening. And I might be doing a Sigma show this week. We've been away for a while because like holidays and like traveling and whatnot. We might be back this Sunday for the Sigma show. So just stay tuned. I'll tweet about it if we're going up. That's it for me.
There you go. All those streams, and then Friday at noon Central, Nick, Jamate, and Yahtzee will be playtesting Star Trek Vagabond.
Oh yeah.
Yahtzee made a
Shoot,
video
lots-
game. Yahtzee made what is it? What's that like?
It's not great.
What's it like to stream a lot? Yahtzee made a video game, and Jamate is going to playtest it live, and Yahtzee's gonna be taking notes, and you're all gonna be able to see what is going on in that game. Maybe he'll beat it. Maybe he won't. I don't know how that game works, so we'll all find out together.
We'll beat it in 2 hours.
We'll all find out together.
It'll
Yeah,
be
and then you
great.
can follow me on my personal Twitch channel as well, twitch.tv/McBiggity. I'm jamming through more Final Fantasy VII Remake. Play more this weekend. Hell yeah. And apparently the name of the Indiana Jones game is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is,
That's it.
that's great. Love
The
circles.
Great
Yeah,
Circle,
it's
like
great.
not
First
of
off,
life or
no, just a great circle. It's like a powerful shape. Like that's a top 5 shape, circles. And it's great. So look at that. Think about
All
that.
right.
As a pure Xbox fanboy, it should have been the great B because circle's a PlayStation symbol. So get your shit together, Xbox.
This game started as a non-Xbox exclusive, so I get it. Halo is a circle, though. Think about it.
Oh, it's an Indiana Jones set on Halo. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know
Sounds
what
like-
to make of that.
No?
It sounds like something like a 10-year-old would be really excited. He's got to whip a grunt. Are the grunts the Nazis? But that'll about do it for us. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Firelink episode number 5. It means a lot to us. Thank you to everyone who's a member. Sorry we didn't have the monetization ready, but save those super chats. Those should be back up and running tomorrow or Friday. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you on various streams throughout the week, including Persona this weekend. But for Nick, for Casey, and for Eric, this was Marty. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.